Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassandra and today I'll show you 3 simple stretches and things that you can do to alleviate discomfort through the feet and ankles. So for our first stretch, you'll need to come into a kneeling pose and we'll focus on the back of the feet, the sole of the foot first. So from this kneeling stance, it's really simple. You're just curling your toes under, dropping the toes down onto the mat, and then from here you're working at sitting your hips down onto your heels. So I suggest if you are really tight, you're going to start feeling this immediately, especially if you wear heels or anything like that. So start with your weight forward, maybe keep your fingertips down onto the mat, and gradually start to walk your palms and hands back in until you can comfortably sit over your heels. And try to keep your ankles directly over your toes, directly underneath your hips so that everything is in line, and just see if you can take a few breaths exactly in this stance. And this can be really, really intense for some people, so it should never be painful, but it should be sensational. So back out at any time that it doesn't feel appropriate for your body. Notice that the toes kind of want to grip into the mat for support or to get you out of the pose. See if you can keep them relaxed. Just keep your feet soft. And just take deep breaths in and out through the nose, all the way down into the belly. Let your weight sink in. And if you haven't already, start to walk your palms back out in front of you. Let's curl our toes back out and then drop the tops of your feet back down onto the mat, and we'll come into our second stretch. So from here you're kneeling as well, but this time you're sitting on top of your heels. Top of your foot is down on the mat, and that's where we're going to be looking to stretch here. At first, you're just walking your palms back behind you. And make sure you're curling your tailbone under here. Keep your knees about hip-width distance apart. And as you go back, you'll start to be able to lift your knees off of the mat. And already, just by lifting them a couple inches, you should be feeling a pretty good stretch through the top of the feet. So just stay here, and you can work at keeping your knees together. Some people will prefer to have them about hip-width distance apart, or maybe even mat-width distance apart. Just play with what works for you. Make sure that you're keeping integrity through the pelvis, through the lower back, and you're only using a little bit of arm strength. And there is a more advanced way to do this pose by integrating a little bit more of your abdominals to hold your balance, in which case you're reaching your palms out in front of you, and instead of keeping them behind, you're bracing your knees and trying to keep your weight centered, and maybe even gently pulling on the knees to lean a little bit further back. This is about as back as I can go. And slowly release it back down. This time, bring your ankles out. Sit back onto your sits bones, and let's take our butterfly pose. So bring the soles of the feet to touch, let your knees fall apart, and from this butterfly shape, it's really simple. I usually just use this as an opportunity to actually massage my feet. I find that the side of the sole of my foot is where it gets the most tense and where I feel tension the most. So it's worth it to just take a few breaths to massage the area, and you might find that you are really sensitive there, and that's okay. Just go lightly, feel it out. And you could always even use a rubber ball to roll underneath your foot to get really, really deep into the fascia, deep into the connective tissue. And that's it. That feels pretty good. So those are 3 very simple exercises that you can start integrating into your practice to stretch the top and bottom of your feet, and then you can always do that little massage to get into the sides as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Namaste.